How are you doing? There you go. There you go. So I wanted to. I'm sorry. There you go. I wanted to chime in on a few things that you guys are talking about here. First thing is, I'm not the biggest Michael Vick fan, but I will say, out of all the available options, I think we've exhausted this before. I've stated even a month ago that Michael Vick was going to be the starter on this offense. You don't want Chip Kelly to come in here and not be able to roll out his full offensive playbook. And, Nick Foles, to me, is not an NFL caliber quarterback. I've seen enough of the guy. But I don't, I know he has a lot of supporters, but he does not have an NFL caliber arm, in my opinion. So at this point, it's almost like the Kevin Cobb factor. If we could get a second or third round pick for Nick Foles, I'd be more than happy. I would like to chime in on my biggest letdown and my man crush, though. All right, so I'm a Jersey guy, so this is not your typical. I'm not your typical four sport Philly. My only teams are the Eagles and the Mets. So I'm one of those bitter guys who've only seen. Well, because where I'm from Exit 8. I get this question a lot, and it's right on the line. So I started watching baseball a few years before I started watching football. I grew up on the '80s Mets. And then right around 88, 89, I started becoming an Eagles fan, and it's where I'm from. The Eagles and all the Philadelphia and the New York teams get equal coverage. Just FYI. So I would have to say that my biggest disappointment, obviously, is I won't even say the 2004 Eagles. I'll just put the whole entire regime in there. No, I'm going 01 to 04. I can't really pick the most disappointing loss. Like, is it the Tampa Bay game? Is it the St. Louis game? I mean, I know my PlayStation went down in the Super Bowl, so I probably have to pick that moment as my ultimate most disappointing moment. But also to turn it over, being a Mets fan, in the 80s and only seeing all my teams win a combined one championship and being in my 30s, I have to say that the 86 Mets only walking away with one world championship, especially with the team that they had in 87, 88, is a huge disappointment. Man crush, and this goes to me being such a sought-after championship. I like winners, so I've always had a man crush for Tom Brady. I do not like the disrespect and the overhype that somebody like Peyton Manning gets, as opposed to somebody like Tom Brady, who's quiet, doesn't do the commercials, and all he does is go out there and win ball games. John Amel from the archives. Let's get that on.
The 86 Mets only walking away with one world championship, especially with a team that they had in 87, 88, is a huge disappointment.
What about, before we let you go, what about your man crush?
Man crush, and this goes to me being such a sought-after championship. I like winners, so I've always had a man crush for Tom Brady. I do not like the disrespect and the overhype that somebody like Peyton Manning gets, as opposed to somebody like Tom Brady, who's quiet, doesn't do the commercials, and all he does is go out there and win ball games.
All right, good stuff, John. Appreciate it. Brady's a good one. I have a man crush on Peyton, too. Do you? Orange barrel. Rewrite.
I don't like...
610-632-0975. It's Gallen and Ashworth hanging out.
So just to clarify a few things, it's not that I hate Peyton Manning. It's more the fact that, he's a great quarterback. He's just not in your top 5, and I don't know if he would crack my top 10 list. He might crack the later half of my top 10 list, but, if you take somebody even, and this is coming from somebody, I know the statistical difference between Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning, and I know that Troy Aikman had this supposedly great football team. But at the end of the day, Troy Aikman won playoff games and won championships. And, I just don't like all the overhype that somebody like Peyton Manning gets when somebody like Tom Brady, still to this day doesn't get nearly as much PT as Peyton Manning. So this is John Amel. This is Archives 97.5 call. I was kind of bored. Thanks for watching.